Might be thinking, well, Jessica, that's going to dry out by the time we're done coloring the whole thing, but this is tips and tricks. I have a trick for you. Okay, I'm done coloring my stem. I'm going to color my next flower, and I think I want it to be orange. Since I'm going to make my card purple, I want my purple in the middle. Again, thinking about the colors that you're using. Okay, I think I want this little round one over here to be orange. So I'm just going to go and I'm just going to color it. Color, color, color. Color, color, color. Alrighty. Again, you can definitely do this at the same time as me. The next one is going to be pink. Same thing, I'm going to do the little flower on the end in pink. I love coloring with the markers. It is such a cool way to add color to your project. This is why I'm just such a fan of the markers. I'm such a fan. And they have so many different hues of each color. Now I'm on the last flower and I'm going to make it purple. It's the one in the middle. They have so many different hues of colors. There are 4 different color families. There's Earth Elements, which is the marker set that I showed you. There's Rich Regals, really beautiful marker set. I have that as well. These also come in ink pads as well. I just happen to only have the markers because that's what I personally prefer using. And then there's also the Soft Subtles, which are all pastel colors. Very, very pretty, especially if you make a lot of kid cards. Very, very nice. And then the 4th color family is Bold Brights, and those are your bright, bold. Like when you think of red, that's red. When you think of orange, that's orange. When you think of green, yeah, that money color green, like green, that's green. Okay, and so those are the 4 color families, and I mean, it's just really fun to play with all of them. I definitely encourage you to explore them all if you haven't already. Okay, now that our stamp is fully colored, the ink is definitely dry, you are right, but let me show you how we can re-moisturize our stamp set. Okay, you just want to breathe warm, moist air onto the stamp set and it will re-moisturize and be perfectly stampable. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move my markers out of the way so I can get ready for this. I'm going to stamp on the edge of my paper. Okay, here we go. Perfect. Let me go ahead and show you my image. There we go. Alrighty. Okay, so we've stamped our image on the paper. The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to prepare for the watercoloring. Go ahead and open up your watercolors and select complementary colors to the colors that you've stamped. My stem is green and it has a few leaves, so I'm going to select this green marker. Okay? Remember the pressure that we talked about in part 1 of the video. If you press very lightly, you're going to get a very light color. I really like the technique of outline shading. I like that dark to light contrast, okay? So I'm going to shade in my leaf ever so lightly. Alright, let me show you this. Can you see how I've shaded in the colors? Go ahead and try that on yours. Go ahead and try shading that in, okay? You can continue to shade your entire image. Be very purposeful about your pressure. I'm going to go lighter on this whole thing just because I like the effect that that's going to give me. I'm just continuing to color it in. I'm going to do even shading on this orange flower. On this pink flower, I think I'm going to do outline shading. And let me show you how I'm doing this here. I am actually going to color very hard at the bottom of the flower, like so. And then I'm just going to lightly shade the rest of it. And it should give it a little bit of depth. Okay? Notice I didn't shade it all in. I didn't shade it all. I just shaded some of it. And I'll show you how that works. Again, thinking about the pressure that you're applying. Okay, and then last but certainly not least, I have purple. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to color very deep down near the stem, very heavily. I'm going to color in these little dots, and I'm going to leave the rest. Because remember, you can do your drag. You can drag the color. All right, we are ready. What is the first thing that we do with our pen? Check for, good, we check for moisture. Okay, then the next thing we need to do is make sure it's clean. Very good. Okay. So now I'm going to start ever so lightly, and this is a very small stamp, so you want to be very careful. Pay attention to the very tip of the brush fibers, because those are controlling where your color is going. I'm going to start with my orange, because it's even shading, which is very easy to do. So I'm doing the circle technique all the way around. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and clean my brush off. Go ahead and try this if you haven't already. I'm going to keep going. Do my leaves next. Always cleaning your brush between colors. Always cleaning your brush with your fingers and wiping it back and forth on the paper. It seems very silly, but it makes all the difference in the world, trust me. Okay. Now, I'm going to start with this flower that I shaded just the bottom, and I'm going to just circle and drag it up, drag it up, drag it around the edge. I'm going to turn my paper a little bit. I apologize if you can't see for a second. I'm just going to, I'm right-handed, so I just need to kind of get at it from a different angle. Very good. Okay. Let me get this back in front of you. Let me make sure you can see. There you go. See, the bottom of the flower has a little bit more color. Okay, again, it creates shadow. It gives the illusion of depth. Okay, and for my purple, I'm going to do the directional technique where I just go straight up, straight up. There we go. And I'm going to ever so gently dab the tip, as they're so hard to get in there. Okay, and again, same thing. A little bit darker at the bottom gives it a little bit more depth. Okay, and that, my friends, is your watercolored multicolor image. How cool is that? And that is exactly the technique that we've used here on this card. Voila! Simple, easy, and so much fun. Very, very cool. Okay. Learning to watercolor is not rocket science. It is incredibly fun, and you've done it. You've done it very easily. If you have any questions, rewind the video. I'm going to show you one more interesting thing you can do with your watercoloring. If you have a stamp that doesn't have an image with holes in it to color in, for example, you can still use your shading to kind of accent different parts. Okay, let me show you this stamp. This stamp, the bird could be colored in, but the other parts don't really need to be colored in, but I'm going to show you what you can do with them, okay? Your watercolor pencils and your water pen, very versatile. Very versatile. The possibilities are endless. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stamp this in brown. Where is my brown? There it is. Okay, we're going to